Yeah, I think sometimes the easiest way to kind of understand it is to think about the most common way that our nervous system works. And our autonomic system has the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So one of them, the sympathetic, is a fight or flight response. When our body perceives danger or imminent threat, it does one of three things: fight, flight, or freeze. There's actually a few more, but I think generally speaking, fight, flight, and freeze are the main ones that we understand. The parasympathetic system, on the other hand, functions that when the body knows it's safe, it can do things like rest and digest, right? It can take down the armor and say, hey, I can focus on these important body functions, which is also when the body heals in that parasympathetic state. So when you have an overactive nervous system, what's happening in these stimulus you might be getting from your environment is that it's constantly signaling the sympathetic system, that fight or flight response. And the more chronic that becomes, where that fight or flight system is constantly activated, the more likely it is that you're going to develop an overactive nervous system over time. So I find a lot of patients and clients will share with me, well, then this happened, and I just constantly feel on edge and I can't sleep, and I'm, rolled up in a ball of tension and stress. And that to me is a pretty clear indication that, hey, you're in constant fight or flight mode. And what happens when you're in that all the time is that it's really hard to start regulating your system, your emotions, your physical recovery. You're going to not hinder, but you're going to, your ability to recover from a physiological perspective or cellular level is probably going to be compromised. So there's so much that is going to lead to ongoing damage or ongoing setbacks if you're in this fight or flight mode in a chronic way. So part of this is helping people to understand when they're in that fight or flight mode and learning to move over and activate their own rest and digest, their parasympathetic, which can be things like mindfulness, grounding, simple breath work, mindful movements. There's a ton of things that we get into in the concussion fix that really breaks that down. So I think really understanding it from this autonomic nervous system perspective can help us to understand when we might be most likely to be having an oversensitive nervous system. Again, that's when this fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system is activated too much, meaning that we're always perceiving threat, even if there is no threat there. So like the noise, the lights, our body and our nervous system is interpreting that as danger and that we need to get away and get to safety, even though there really isn't a threat.